We need to find a shoe that matches this impression. It's made out of some kind of dirt. We should get a sample. If we can link the shoe impression to someone, then this dirt might tell us where he's been. Some of the marks here are thin and straight, but some are circular, just like the holes in the drywall at the spa. A black hair pulled out at the root. Portia was a blonde, and Brian Reed has red hair. Someone else was here. Storing something in the broiler pan. Guess it's a little late to warn Portia about the fire hazard. Dates and dollar amounts. It looks like a record of the spa's finances. The case is open, and the hard drive is missing. This isn't just a hammer. It looks like something off a fire truck.
Hey, I ran a background on Brian Reed. Turns out that up until last week, he was a captain with the Las Vegas Fire Department. His battalion chief told me Reed had a mixed service record, multiple commendations for bravery, but the guy was also on probation for insubordination. Well, when Reed failed a random drug test last week for the use of cannabis, they fired him.
This reminds me. The notorious serial arsonist John Leonard Orr was both a fire captain and an arson investigator. It's largely made up of feldspar, clinopyroxene, and acetone. The minerals are found in volcanic ash, which is what they used to make the mud for the baths. And acetone was the accelerant used at the spa.
The microscope lets you view items at a variety of magnifications. It also lets you compare items side by side. Select a piece of evidence using the Evidence button to begin. You've added a piece of evidence to macroscopic comparison. Now add another using the Evidence button.
The axe head matches the thin slashes, and the hammer side matches the bigger holes. This tool, or one very similar to it, was used to ventilate the drywall at the spa. Brian Reed's Denver tool is a match to the markings on Portia Weissman's door.
Mr. Reed, or should I call you Captain Reed?
Not anymore. I'm no longer with the Las Vegas Fire Department.
I bet you've seen a lot of buildings burn, and I bet you know a lot of ways to light them up.
You know something, buddy? You are way the hell out of line. I devoted my life to jumping into the flames and saving people. And I lost friends in those buildings I've seen burn. So for you to sit there and insinuate that I may be an arsonist is the most offensive thing anyone has ever said to me. And Portia? You think I set Portia on fire? I mean, I don't know what kind of animals you people have to deal with, but that's not me.
Being a firefighter was obviously very important to you, so it must have hurt to lose that.
Yeah, well, they were just looking for an excuse. I was actually trying to keep my head down.
You were on probation.
It was a tenement fire in the Alphabets. Battalion chief thought the place was coming down. Ordered me not to go back in. You'd think I might earn a little slack for telling the boss to piss off, but let me save a room full of kids. And again, if I'd stopped at piss off, maybe I would've.
Wasn't Portia the one with the drug problem?
Yeah, it was her problem, and she's the reason I got fired. Portia made pot brownies. Now, she says she didn't dose me intentionally, but she did leave the damn things right where I would find them, and she didn't tell me what they were. I ate 3 of them. I could barely get out of bed for like a day and a half. I don't know how anyone can stand that stuff. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, Happy Monday! Go pee in a cup! I dumped her because she got me fired from a job I loved.
It's a firefighting tool, isn't it?
It's called a Denver tool. Firefighters use it for getting into and out of places.
Places like apartments?
Only if they're on fire.
We think you used your Denver tool to break Portia's door in.
I told you I got a key. Look, take it if you need it.
You see those marks? They line up perfectly with your Denver tool.
Mine or anybody else's. Even if it was a Denver tool, no firefighter did that. If I really wanted to bring that door down, I'd pry the hinges off. The last thing I'd do is hack at it like a maniac.
The fire was set by someone with the knowledge to burn that building to the ground.
I don't care what you say. I would never start a fire.
The drywall at the spa was ventilated with a Denver tool.
Well, it wasn't my Denver tool. Anybody can buy one on the internet. Even Portia had one.
Why did Portia have a Denver tool?
She took mine. She wanted it for protection. Said it creeped her out to be alone in that place all day.
By that place, do you mean the spa?
Yeah, she had hers at the spa.
You know something? You're right. There are a lot of other Denver tools floating around out there. But in this case, I really only think there's one I need to worry about. And it belongs to you. You followed Portia to the spa, and when she was nice and relaxed in her mud bath, you torched the place. And then you went back to her apartment to get your things, and a few of her things too. And then you tried to disappear. I bet you figured, hey, if it looks like a break-in, then no one will suspect the boyfriend who's already got a key to the place, and that might have worked for you too. But you forgot to light a fire under yourself. You were still standing right there when we rolled up.
Captain, I respect the police. I really do. I know what it's like to go out there every day and put it all on the line. And I know you're just doing your job. But if you can look me straight in the eye and really hear what I'm saying to you, and yet still believe that I could do this to Portia, then I feel very, very sorry for you, because you're not qualified to carry that badge. Now, are you really gonna arrest me, or what?
No, we're not going to arrest you, Brian. But we'd appreciate if you could hold tight here for a while.
All right, I will. For now. And like I said, I'm happy to answer your questions, but no more finger pointing, or I'm done.
We understand. Thank you. You said that Portia spent hours alone at the spa. How often did she do that?
Just about every day. You know, there were times I started to believe that place might be some sort of front.
A front?
Yeah, you know, for money laundering. Portia was convinced, and she was keeping her own records. She told me that place wasn't making a dime.
Did anyone else know Portia was keeping financial records?
I think she might have mentioned it to a boss, which seemed like the wrong guy to talk to about it, but she trusted him. At least she did. But after she talked to him, she got all paranoid. Ended up hiding all the papers in the broiler drawer. I thought she was just high. Hey, you guys looking at him for this?
Thanks for sticking around.
No problem. I'll be waiting.
Hi. Sorry, I was shaving. Cut myself. What can I do for you?
Portia Weissman owned a firefighting tool. She kept it at the spa for security. Have you seen it?
No. She had some kind of weapon at the spa? Well, that's totally against company policy.
We'll be back.
Looking forward to it.
Good catch. That should contain a workable sample of his DNA. Pete Baja's DNA, ready for processing.
You now have 2 samples of DNA ready for comparison. One sample is unidentified, and one is from a known subject. To confirm a match, you need to drag segments of colored blocks from the unidentified sample to the corresponding colored blocks in the known sample. If all the colored blocks from the unidentified sample fit into the known sample, you have a match. You can get a higher skill rating if you don't misplace any blocks.
Pete Baja was in Portia Weissman's apartment, even though he told us he'd never been there.
How's the arson case? Is your decorated fireman still the prime suspect?
I'm not so sure now. He's got an answer for everything. And what I thought was the best evidence we had against him, his firefighting tool, well, it doesn't actually provide us with anything conclusive. On top of that, the spa's owner, Pete Baja, lied to us about never visiting the victim's apartment.
All right. Well, talk to Brass. See if he can help you take a closer look at this, Mr. Baja.
All right. You're down here already. I was just gonna call you. This is Special Agent Gene Huntby of the FBI. It seems your case may be crossing into his jurisdiction. Agent Huntby, why don't I let you explain the situation to them?
Thank you, Captain Brass. It's my understanding your prime suspect in the arson fire at the Super La Spa is Pedro Baja. Is my information correct?
We're looking at him for the arson and a homicide. A young woman by the name of Portia Weissman died in the fire.
Is that right? Well, let me explain why I'm here. Are you familiar with La Reina de la Colmena? Unfortunately, as a member of law enforcement, you should be. In Spanish, it means the Queen of the Hive, and it's the alias for a woman named Beatriz Salazar, now the most dangerous drug lord in Mexico. We believe Pedro Baja was in her employ.
Okay. So is this the part where you tell us to back off, Mr. Baja, and let you do your job?
No, Ms. Seidel, not at all. I want you to get your man. I want you to get him so bad he'll have no choice but to cut a deal. You see, in the entire universe of La Reina de la Colmena's drug trafficking operation, Baja's just a satellite, a small-time money launderer through those little shops of his. But for some reason, we have him on wiretaps in direct communication with Salazar. The taps themselves are useless because Baja and Salazar communicate in code, referring to things like family, weather, whatever. But why she's talking to him directly instead of through an intermediary, I have no idea. But it's that direct connection that means, if we can bring down Baja, then we have our best shot yet at taking down the Queen of the Hive herself.
Agent Huntby has requested the opportunity to keep tabs on us for a while, and run this one as a joint jurisdiction.
You do your thing, I'll do mine.
Based on what evidence? I was there when Baja said he'd never been in Portia Weissman's apartment. His DNA in that apartment will get you your warrant.